All right, hello. You heard it, Sports Porters. We have indeed reassembled Bob Silverman, the Pat McAfee of this very program. Many people have said he's just gotten so comfortable with the tank tops that it's just a part of the aesthetic. It's the combination for me of Bob and in the tank top on youtube.com/Chase Podcast, but also Max in the background. Right? Last week, he was peering up from the top of the staircase in New York City, staring at what was going on. This week, he's involved. This week, he's not at the bottom or at the top of the staircase. He's a part of the production. So we have to give a credit to Max the dog. Khaleesi has gone to the park with my wife. But are you flexing, Bob?
Right. No, I'm pointing.
You were flexing. Andrew, you saw that, right? He's flexing. He's showing the guns.
That just was pointing.
Mm-hmm.
He's just here to remind us that he is,
he bought tickets to the gun show. Yeah, that's right.
Also here, Andrew Hammond, another Detroit Free Press. Andrew, I'm jealous you're in a hoodie. Is it at least chilly there? Because it's been hot all week in Tennessee. I'm over it. It's hot again.
I'm the type of person, like when it hits mid-October into November, it is automatically hoodie weather for me. I don't care what time of day it is. I don't care what is going on. Like if it's hot outside or if it's unseasonably warm outside, I just have this inner paranoia of, well, it's going to get cold quick. That's what happens when you live in the Midwest, where you're just like, you never know what the weather's going to do. No, seriously, you never know what the weather is going to do. Wear a hoodie.
No, he's right. Cold.
Is it cold in New York right now, Bob?
No, it's kind of balmy. It's around 65.
Yeah, it's like I'd say I want to say it's like maybe mid 60s, low 60s here. Like it's actually supposed to be pretty nice here for the next few days, but you can
wear a hoodie. Offices have central air conditioning. It's always good to have a hoodie on hand for office wear. The offices at Vocative, RIP though, were always just shockingly warm. To the point where we received directives during the summer. We received directives during the summer that if people wanted to come to the offices in shorts, we could violate the very low grade dress code that we had to maintain, which was wear clothes.
I'm definitely rocking shorts right now. Like it is very shorts and hoodie weather, which is just it's absolutely my jam.
I saw a Wendy Williams fit from yesterday on Twitter. My wife sent me. What was the temperature? Did y'all see the tweet with her where she's like in this huge fur coat, like a really, really big fur coat, and then like short jean shorts, and everyone was just like, what was the weather? That's a look to go full fur coat, like super heavy, and then shorts.
I do it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah, all the time.
I don't understand.
Rock a fur coat with some shorts.
Like you would wear a big coat with shorts.
I would absolutely do that. I'm joking.
Okay.
Joking.
Oh my goodness.
I would not do
that. That was good. I really was concerned that this was a possibility because my brother.
I do want to rock the the old school Joe Namath mink fur coat.
Yes.
Just I would rock that just because once again it's when you have no children and are only responsible for yourself, do whatever the hell you want.
Bob, what's a celebrity port in Brooklyn? Who have you seen?
Well, fun fact, this is a historical celebrity note. Joe Namath actually lived on the Upper East Side in an apartment he rented from my uncle. I think you told us about that one time. A while ago. The one that had the wall-to-wall white shag carpeting.
Yeah.
On the floor. Yeah.
Did he take care
of
it?
That one and mirrors on the ceilings. I guess. I mean, it wasn't like he lived there for a while. When my uncle passed away, we cleaned it out, and I found 2 bottles of the brand of bourbon and whiskey that Joe Namath put out when he and Mantle and someone else, a golfer, I believe.
Oh, was it a Bachelor's 3?
Bachelor's 3. I have a bottle in the fridge in the pantry of Bachelor's 3 bourbon and of unopened Bachelor's 3 bourbon and whiskey.
Dude,
it's not worth anything.
I know, but
it is a collector's item, but it's not worth anything.
That's one of those, like,
I'm sure it was
very
it's
niche.
blended. It's blended Scotch. I'm sure it's absolutely
never been open.
Crap. From 1960, never been open. I'm sure it has gone completely. I don't think it's still good to drink or anything.
It just might be actual moonshine now.
Well, how long does it take to go bad?
I don't know, but it's 50 years old. And it's not 50-year-old Scotch. It's Scotch that's 50 years old. There's a difference.
Yeah, it hasn't aged well. So it's aged like the Jets.
Yeah. I actually did once. When I was living in France, they would at a couple of miles outside of the city, but they do it at this warehouse. It was where, when the new vintages of wines came in from all over the country and also from Germany and Spain and all over, like, restaurants would come into this, like, think of the auto show, but for wine. Okay. So what you do is, for, I think it was $20 or something, you get a glass. And you go around from stall to stall to stall, and they'll let you taste whatever. And if you like, you can buy at restaurant wholesale prices a carton of wine to take home or whatever you want. If you really like one,
or you're
they really don't. If you're a restaurant, you buy multiple cartons, and you like place orders. If you are a civilian, you can just buy it. You can't buy it by the bottle, but you could buy a carton if you want. Something that's good at wholesale prices. But the fun is going around from stall to stall to stall and getting just taste everything for free. And I tried 50-year-old cognac when I was there.
How was that?
And unbelievably good.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it was just absolutely smooth.
Oh, it was like honey. It was there was no burn. It was just succulent and luxurious and delicious. And I got it.
That's what the ladies say about me.
I got a tablespoonful because they're not going to give you a shot of cognac when they're giving it out to everyone who wants it. But let me tell you, after 2 hours, myself and my friends were just blitzed out of our gourd there. We were sort of drunkenly enjoying sandwiches from a sandwich stall outside the place, but oh my god, we had so much good wine. But that cognac was to die for. It was like, oh, okay, that's why people spend $1,000 a glass for the good stuff. It's worth it.
$1,000 a glass?
Man. Yeah.
I think the most I've spent on a glass of cognac was $65.
That's
Man. I think what's Johnny Walker Blue is like. How much is it for a bottle? It's like $800 a bottle. But
I never bought whiskey, so I wouldn't know. Never done it. I will say I had an awkward moment. Can I tell y'all? Ever at my engagement party?
Have you ever had? Hold on. Have you had whiskey though? You know what it tastes like.
Yeah, I don't really like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I never liked it. It tastes like cough medicine to me. Never understood the appeal. The only thing I drank was wine and beer, and the main thing I like is wine.
That's fine.
Yeah, mostly the wine guy.
That's good.
But I will say, on my engagement, the rehearsal dinner for my wedding this year, my dad's gonna like me bringing this up on the pod, but no, it's good. Yeah, it's fine. He did a nice gesture by like he got we had amazing local Knoxville barbecue. Like it was awesome. This they cater and they were awesome. They don't have their own restaurant. They just like, it's one of those where it's like at their house, they're just cooking it and getting it all together. Like that's their jam. So it's like kind of like an underground barbecue deal. And it was fantastic. Some of the best barbecue we've ever had. And it worked out great for the rehearsal dinner. But before we got started, but this had nothing to do with barbecue. My dad, like one of the things about me that people misconstrue and that I am very much not comfortable with is being the center of attention at any kind of gathering. I don't like it at all. I am not that kind of person.
You realize that a wedding kind of by design means you're going to be the center of attention.
Yeah. So what did you do? Like, please don't look at me as I wait for my bride. Please just focus on her.
That's amazing. That's actually why the wedding's not that bad for me, because there's so much attention paid to the bride that you're kind of
but when
you're in the background.
Closer, people have to look at you.
That's true, but it was fine. I was okay with that. It was more of I had all kinds of other nerves going through me. Like it's just until you've done it, like it's just really hard to explain to people like what you're feeling and just all the different like your body is so tense. It's just a different thing entirely. But and it happens so fast you just like black out while you're just like I don't even remember doing that. It's just like there's just so much stuff and there's so much emotional and physical like whatever. But my dad had this he talked to him apparently beforehand and was like, we got you a surprise for the rehearsal dinner, and like did this whole thing, and the guy came out who owns the business and was just like, hey, we got you know what you could want or blah blah blah. And I was like, what is happening? And I'm looking at Samantha like, what has my dad done? What's happening here? And he's like, we got you this awesome moonshine. Like it was just this big bottle of moonshine. And I was like, oh no. And I looked at I was like, that's really nice. I don't what am I gonna do with this? I don't want moonshine. Like what? What part of me ever wanted moonshine? And it was just like one of those things where I was
Did you have a sip at least?
It turned into a whole thing at the night. I had a sip. I don't like just what it was just this big thing, and he was so happy to give me this gesture of like he made his own moonshine because I don't think it's legal. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Are there any of the hard liquors that you enjoy at all?
No.
Okay. That's fair.
So if you were to drink like a red wine that's like in one of those like either whiskey barrels or whatever, would you have something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would try that. Like I said, like I red wine was my jam.
There's a really good one I'll give you a recommendation for. I need to look it up, but it was I definitely drank it out of the bottle. It was that good.
Another funny story as I drink out of this, does this look like something to you guys?
Looks like a very
like
large
glass of water.
But how big? Like the what kind of glass is this?
Is it a bar pint glass?
No, it's a plant glass. It was originally my wife's plant glass, and I never realized that when I used it the first time was a plant glass. And she was like, what are you doing? And then I just turned it into my glass because it was one of those. She was like, you've been casually walking around with a plant glass and just drinking out of my plant. I never put it together. I never realized this was just like a vase, basically.
Yeah, well, you see why? What? Okay, it looks like a plastic diner glass.
I was gonna say, yeah, it definitely has that vibe, but
have you thoroughly washed it since then?
Since then, we're fine. We're fine. But it's now become my plant glass.
Okay.
But you basically asserted dominance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my glass. There are others like it, but this one is mine.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, Private Pile. It is his glass.
When I have my glass and I am thirsty, I will drink out of it. Chase, I love you, bro.
I appreciate that. Love you too, man. I'm
gonna buy you a sippy cup as a belated wedding gift.
Oh, I'd love a sippy cup. Who doesn't want a sippy cup when you're just on the move and you don't want to have a spill?
We've seen my Yeti mugs. We've seen my collection of travel Yeti mugs.
Are those basically just adult sippy cups?
Yeah,
that's true. They really are. But also they're really hard to get off. You know, one of the most emasculating moments of my adult life was I ordered a Yeti cup and I could not get the top off. Could not do it. No. I kept trying. I got my wife involved. She couldn't get it off. I thought the top was broken. Like I did everything. We warm water, just grease. We tried I was ripping this thing apart, trying to get the top off. Bob's disgusted.
So you pulled the Larry David with the GPS, opening the GPS. You're basically just like stabbing at it.
Right. I was losing my mind. I was throwing it against the wall. We threw it. Trying to get the top to pop off. I was throwing it because they're indestructible. Those things could
Did someone go on the internet and download the instructions? Did you throw
I looked at them. I was going through it, Bob. I go to REI and I find someone. I'm like, this is a really awkward question, but I think this is a defective Yeti.
And
they were like, that's weird. And I was like, well, they couldn't do it. So I don't know if this matters to the story, but I will say there was a nice lady at the front desk who could not open the lid and was like, yeah, that's so weird. Why can't I get this off? And she was like, I mean, you could try basically like whatever the equivalent of like an auto repair shop for REI is on the other side of the store. Some sort of basically REI repair area is on the other side. I go over there and he's like, and I was like, this is kind of an awkward conversation, but you're kind of like my last hope. I can't get this top off and I just want to put coffee in here and I can't do it. And I don't want to throw it away and don't want to return it. Can you, I understand I'm a 31 grown man, but can you try and see if you can get this top off? I kid you not. It took him like 2 seconds. He gets it off. And I'm just like, and he was like,
you can't even say anything to him. You can't even look him in the eye. You just have to go the other way and go home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye. Gotta go now.
It was rough. Like that walk out, and she was like, and then of course the lady at the front desk, she's like, did he get it? And I'm like, yeah. Jake got it. He did it. Yeah, he got it.
Oh man. Oh.
It was
I'm impressed that REI has like a service station and they let you take a cup in there to be serviced.
The emasculated male section.
It really is, because if you go in there, like that section is just for men who are down bad. To go in there and you're just like, hey, my tent isn't really working the way it needed to work, and you can't defend your do you need some help?
There's just a picture of Ned Flanders just chilling.
Do you need a grown-up to help you with this?
Yeah. It's demoralizing. I'll never do that again.
There's a Seymour Skinner poster, just a motivational poster saying,
I'm not going to lie, Chase.
You can.
That's a bad beat, Chase.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny is like that speaks to who I am though. When I tell people like in my daily life, they're like, yeah, that's a Chase move to be like, all right, this is not, I'm just going to take this somewhere and just have someone else do it, because I'm just like, I've given up. I've spent enough time on this where I'm like, someone else can do it, where I'll just go in and I'll pull into on my wedding, the day after my wedding, when I had, my wedding day, I think I told you all this. I had the optometrist put in the contacts for me my wedding morning, because I couldn't get the contacts in, and I was like, I don't trust myself to get them in. So I made an agreement, like I made a deal with my optometrist to meet on my wedding day, and he would put them in, and then I would meet for, the next day and get him out before we go on our honeymoon. And he wasn't there that Sunday, so I was like, oh crap, what am I going to do? Because it was driving me nuts. We found a place on the way to the mountains that just a random place. They didn't have the optometrist there either, because most of them aren't open on Sundays. And the 2 front desk women were like, we'll do it. And I'm like, perfect. And she's like, but like, are you okay with no waiver or anything? Like, we're not optometrists.
We might poke you in the eye.
They might.
And I was like, just get it out. And I was like, I don't care, whatever you got to do. And my wife held me down, and they're just like fishing it out of my eye and just
held you down.
We are knowing way too much about each other, and I gotta tell you,
I feel like we can shift to sports now. Can we start talking?
Yeah.
Do you know it's traumatic? Contacts are a traumatic thing.
This is making me feel feelings I don't want to feel.
Yeah.
What happened?
What
happened in sports this week, Chase?
You know,
nothing
a lot
good.
of things happen in sports.
James Harden's out for a month for the Sixers.
I heard, yeah.
No, anything else happen in the NBA? Feels like it's been a quiet week for the
National Basketball Association. Yeah, for this
the NFL
league.
had a super active trade deadline that happened. A lot of moves.
They did.
A
lot of Chase Claypool talk around these parts.
Russell Westbrook is thriving on the bench so far.
Can we we're saying thriving? It's been a game and 2 games. Like they're 2-5. Great.
Hey, I haven't had to look at a Lakers post game spaces of people acting. I mean, giving off hot takes like they actually care about a late season game or about an early season game. It's fine. It's fine.
They're a Matt Ryan Hail Mary from the corner from being 1-6. What are we talking about?
That was awesome. Matt Ryan shot was
Matt Ryan. Oh, I'm glad he's thriving now that he got benched by the Colts. Good for him.
Well,
no, this is the other. This is the other Matt Ryan.
It's
the
UT
Matt
Chattanooga.
Ryan that's
it's
accurate.
UT Chattanooga legend Matt Ryan.
The Matt Ryan that's actually accurate. Oh, okay. I
Wow.
forgot.
I'm already down bad. I'm pouring my heart out to you guys with all kinds of personal stories today.
You couldn't get a Yeti cooler open. I'm sorry, buddy. That's just. I held it in as much as I could. I tried to be nice, but damn it.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Oh, God. But yeah, no, the NBA this week, not great. Not great.
I keep thinking about how if David Stern were still alive, how he would have handled this week.
Kyrie Irving.
I told that David Stern story before that when I got to talk to him at this fundraiser.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
there are a lot of problems with the way that I forget again, I'm stealing some Twitter value here. And so whoever said this on the other website, I apologize for stealing your take. But that the difference between David Stern and Adam Silver is David Stern always thought the NBA was on the was a sandcastle on the verge of imminent collapse, and did everything in his power to keep it upright, even if it wasn't actually a sandcastle. Adam Silver thinks he's living in a garrisoned fort that no enemy could ever conquer, and that can never fail. And
is that partly because of what Stern walked into, though? Like the situation?
I don't think Silver. I mean, granted, look, the NBA was on pretty.
It was on life
solid.
It was basically dead.
It was on, as of the early '80s, even with Magic and Bird. But by the time, after you've been in the job, during the Jordan years, the NBA did very well. Adam Silver was still, David Stern was still treating every off-court incident and possible PR disaster as though Ragnarok had finally come for the NBA. He treated every instance like it could destroy the league at a second. And I think Silver walked into a far more look, when Silver took over in 2014, there was still a lot of talk about the NBA being the league of the future that would eventually overtake baseball and football and all that stuff. I don't think anyone thinks that anymore. But they were considering it as like we're going to make this a global sport that could even challenge soccer. And that's over now. I think they realize they can't do that. Or I would like to think that they realize they can't do that. But Adam Silver treats it as though that it's just that the trajectory is constant growth, and it can't ever lose fans when they've lost. No one's losing money who owns an NBA team, to be clear. But especially in the pandemic, attendance is down, viewership is down for a number of different reasons that have nothing to do with basketball or Adam Silver or any of the teams in them, but it's down. And I think.
I wonder if part of it has to do with Ticketmaster. Did you see report today where 78% of like that fees, like basically Ticketmaster fees are now 70% of one ticket? That's insane. That might be part of the problem.
Oh, absolutely.
It's part, but that would affect every sport equally, you'd think.
True. I mean, I know it affects me. And I was just talking to a buddy where he's like, I paid 3 tickets for the Georgia Auburn game a couple weeks ago. I
don't even want to know the price either.
Yeah, like 3 because of the fees. Like, it's insane that has just become a part of it. I don't know how you fix that, but
there is a problem, but there's been a problem with sports access and tickets in this country.
They can charge that much because there are a group of I don't want to go to a game when I know that the first. I don't know, that the lower half bowl of the stadium is going to be filled with people in half zip fleeces that are, going there on corporate accounts and don't really care about the team that much.
They're just there.
They're
just there for the experience.
And I can confirm that because like one of my good buddies, his old company in Atlanta, they had floor seats like behind the away bench for the Hawks. And just some of the most fun I've ever had in my life was going with him to those games years ago. But it was a different world. Like I remember LaShawn McCoy was like 3 seats over from me one time. And he had this huge tiger sweater. Like it was a terrifying sweater. I've never seen an intimidating sweater, but it was a lot.
Close.
Yeah. And it was kind of like 3D.
What actual family of fans can afford a night of going to see a basketball game, a football game, a baseball game, whatever? That's going to cost $500.
Yeah, you're going to one a year.
I understand that a lot of really that's a lot. I don't. It's going to.
Yeah, I think we might have lost.
Andrew, I love Andrew's deadpan. I was waiting for Andrew.
I'm like, okay, let me hook up like the Ethernet cable to this computer. I was just like, maybe it's but then I saw you react, and I'm just like,
oh, there he is.
There he is.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah. Big Tech is censoring me. I started talking about the money. You're on cut off my feed.
Big ticket is censoring you.
Well, how does, without like getting into, I mean, it's so tough to figure out even how to frame what's going on with the NBA this week because there are obviously so many layers, and we could talk about this for 7 hours and still not fully.
But we're not going to.
No, we're not. But I want to get y'all's perspectives on this. So I don't know anything about the movie. I know based on what I've read and the reporting on it, I'm not sitting down and watching 3.5 hours of this film. That's not happening. I'm not going to do that. I don't know would y'all agree? Like that's not not a good use of my time. Probably not to get into that stuff.
I think you can trust 1 or 2 good articles recapping.
Yeah, right. Like I think you can.
I feel like you're fine.
Well, also, I've seen people tweet about the movie, and they say that it's just entirely, it's too much. And you know when people say a movie is too much, and I can't take it, either it's a tough watch, or it's so bad, like Black Adam bad.
Is Black Adam bad? Is it really bad?
So apparently it is, but then apparently I've seen reviews saying, "Oh, it's actually pretty good if you just separate the DC from it." And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'll probably watch it when it hits a streaming service. I don't care, whatever. Sure. But anyway, this movie that's on Amazon, which I'll talk about the people going after Amazon later, are saying that it's just such a tough watch because it's so factually all over the place. That's not good.
No. I mean,
deep breath.
Yeah, there's a look. I keep wondering about what the right way to handle this is. Because if a player had said something openly racist or I don't know, I'm trying to think of a different kind of prejudice that he might like, or openly homophobic, I think, the response would have been really, I don't know if it would have been different or how it would have been handled, but like, I'm not exactly, I don't know what the right thing to do. There's really no way, I think, for the team in the NBA to like handle this that will result in a good outcome. I think what's been made fairly clear is that it's not like you're going to change Kyrie's mind with facts and logic. So when, the Nets owner talks about this being an educational opportunity, I'm sitting there thinking, well, good luck with that.
And he tried. It's in the reporting with Ramona Shelburne's piece where he like watched the movie. Supposedly
he supposedly wanted to have like a law, like a, tried to debate me, bro, with Kyrie Irving about this movie and then like get him to see the light. I was like, if you spend any time, if you've ever talked to an actual conspiracy theorist face to face, not just watched their content, there's a whole process that it takes to disabuse someone of conspiracy theories, and it's not going to happen in a week sitting in the C-suite office of some basketball executive. And I'm sitting there like, what will happen if they suspend him? Will he actually consider that maybe he screwed up and that he's wrong about some things, about a lot of things, and change his mind? I kind of doubt it. Will it make him just dig in his heels further and decide that, like he said, he's got an army behind him? And that's a terrifying phrase. Maybe. Will letting it slide only embolden him? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is here. I don't think it's not anyone's job to police Kyrie Irving's bad ideas about the world. That's kind of on him. But there's just no good outcome here, because you're going to see people now screaming about how, see that Kyrie was punished, so see that it really is the secret government and the protocols of the elders of Zion working to punish Kyrie for wrongthink. So that's going to happen. I think the only thing the Nets could do was say, actually, no, this sucks. We don't want to employ people who are bigoted on our team for now, so you get to take a timeout. So they did belatedly.
They said, quote, currently unfit to be associated with the Brooklyn Nets. So how do you get out of that? Like, what does that mean? Like, if you're, I don't even know how you get out of that.
How do you make yourself fit to play professional basketball?
Right. Boy, I don't understand what that means.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Does he have to watch the movie Yentl now to balance it out? I can't tell you that.
Is that a bad joke? Yes. I would have suggested Fiddler on the Roof. Much better movie.
Sure. Sure. Yes.
No, it feels like
all 12 hours of show. Maybe. I don't know. That's a tough watch also, but for different reasons.
Look.
The sorrow and the pity. I can name sad movies all day.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were just going in. I respect
it. Yeah, I've watched a lot of documentaries. Anyway.
I'm very... People are mad at the Nets for suspending Kyrie Irving. I look at it like this. Kyrie gave them no other choice. Because because once again...
did they want to let him... They were like, just say the thing we want to say, and we will let this slide. Is how it read.
Sorry, just say it. It's the line from Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School where he's or Sam Kinison where he's screaming at Rodney Dangerfield, just like, say it. That's what they're basically doing, because once again, this month was the longest week ever. You had the Jewish group sitting courtside.
Yeah.
If you basically just ignore the problem, it was going to get worse. Kyrie has already dug in his heels. You are not going to change him. And all the Nets were basically looking for was just a basic sorry. And he couldn't even do that. And
he had a script. He said, listen, I'm not an anti-Semite. I don't agree with the ideas in the movie. I am sorry for what I did, and I'm sorry for the people who were hurt by this. Like, the thing is, in New York, you see the black guys. I saw them since I was a kid. They've been on street corners since I was a young kid, screaming the exact same thing as what Kyrie in this movie proposed.
Yeah.
I've had this happen. I've heard these guys my entire life, and nobody pays too much attention to the guys screaming on a street corner because they're guys screaming on a street corner.
Right.
Kyrie has talked a lot about having a platform and what that means to him, and it's true. I will cop to being for a long time willing to let Kyrie's stuff slide. Like, I gave him a pass on the flat Earth thing because I was like, he donated money he worked to get like, he worked for like not just his labor stance, not just his stances on like indigenous people. There were a lot of things that Kyrie said that I was like, yeah, that's a righteous thing to say. And so I gave him a whole lot of rope. I was willing to, I'm kicking myself now because we're very well, like, it's the path from I believe in flat earth conspiracies to deep bore anti-Semitic conspiracies. It's not a long journey. And that happens a lot. And it happened a lot more during the pandemic when people were locked up and all of these conspiracy groups just got their tender hooks into people. So I will absolutely, raise my hand and say I was way too. I mean, I think there are a couple of stories where I said, like, look, the things that Kyrie's saying are very stupid and silly and wrong here, and in retrospect, I regret that. I was wrong. But I don't know. It's galling. I wish that one other player in the NBA who's playing now, and if I'm missing someone, that's on me too, but I wish one other player had said, yeah, that sucks, don't do that. Current player, not Charles Barkley or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or anything like that. That would have been nice. I'm a little disappointed that didn't.
Do you think it might be, and I really hate playing devil's advocate here, but do you think in terms of PR for the NBA teams, they probably told their players, hey, we aren't touching it. You see what's going on here? But at the same time, somebody has to say something because he's trying to turn himself into a martyr, which Kyrie, you're the worst martyr ever.
I think the Nets' actions this week, if we're talking about PR, they were fairly calibrated towards building a case for releasing him or suspending him for the entire year without getting into a serious grievance battle with the players' union.
Oh, you mean because he's the VP and he kind of sort of sucks at that too? But
I think they are making. I think now the Nets can make the case they gave that their requests were fairly reasonable. That their initial response was, "We will let the player handle this." That they tried to work back channels to get him to talk to various people and groups and debate the merits of that. But to me, it all feels like I have no reporting to this effect. I'm just making an educated guess, but it seems to me like they are making sure they are legally able to say, you will never play basketball for us again.
I think there's a real chance we don't see Kyrie again this year. I
think there's a real chance we don't see Kyrie again ever.
That's another, yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, he doesn't look like
that's also scary, right? Because that feels like that will embolden.
Of course it will. But even when we've had 2 years now of a lot of moments where Kyrie didn't seem like playing basketball was his first priority, which is entirely fine. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't want to do this for a living anymore, okay, man. Go walk the path you want to walk and find your truth and all that, and whatever. But
it seems like he's making excuses after excuse. And look, if you don't want to play, as you said, Bob, if you don't want to play, fine. But it feels like he's trying to find a way out because he's not happy playing basketball anymore. And this path that he is going on is not good because who wants that? And if people say, "Oh, well, Kyrie's so good. Look at his handles." Like any team would want that. Does any team really want that at this point?
Not if he doesn't care. Not if he doesn't really want to. I mean, look at what he did against. I mean, granted, I would have a hard time doing my job after being at the white hot center of a media storm that's taken place over the past 8 days. But look what he did against the Bulls. Dude scored 5 points. He did not seem to particularly be interested in doing his job that night. And again, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But
that was the night where
I don't know.
The group was in the front row, right?
Yeah, that was the night. Okay.
I thought that was
anyway, the reason. I think it might have been the Pacers. I think
Oh,
really. I think it may have been both. I think it may have been both.
Oh, okay. See, I
Yeah.
only saw the Pacers.
I did see the Pacers, but the reason I mentioned like the black Israelites on the street corner and why I didn't like most people just sort of ignored them, is because Kyrie's not a dude on a street corner. Kyrie has a public presence, and he can use that for whatever he wants. It means his words carry more weight, and it means that there is that he does have a certain responsibility, and that if you use that megaphone in a way that is wildly irresponsible, people are going to you're going to get flack for that. And there's going to be repercussions.
Where he's like, it wasn't an endorsement by just tweeting it. Like the back and forth where the little stuff where you're like, Kyrie, that doesn't even.
You know exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Even in his like last night when he did actually post an Instagram, a kind of more direct
apology.
Yeah.
The phrase Jewish race / religion. That bothered me. Sorry, we're not a race. We're not a race. We are. It's a religious group. Mm-hmm. There are many different kind of adherents to this religious group. There are more devoted. There are less devoted. But we're not a race. Calling Jews a race of people, that's white nationalist dogma. So that making it into the statement made me go, yeah. Haven't really worked all the kinks out of this whole apology thing yet. That bugged me. It really bugged me.
And it's clear he's still just not talking to people. That's what it troubles me so much of just, he's not talking to the right people. Clearly the wrong people are in his ear, but it's like, these are things that should be cleared up. Like if he wanted to show contrition, like that doesn't happen in the PR apology. Like that is something that shows that he's had conversations to be like, oh, this is where you're messing up. Like, let's have these conversations. Like, where am I wrong? Like, where it's just, there's that kind of stuff he overlooks, and people, I don't know, like that. I don't know. Do you think he probably has no idea that would trouble so many folks and that he's wrong there?
No.
And you're like, this is why you don't do that.
Honestly, I don't. Look, I really feel bad saying this. He knew exactly what he was doing with that line. He knew exactly what he was doing with that line. Because the apology didn't feel sincere. The apology felt like, well, I'm going to get busted for 5 games. Okay, I'm sorry. Like that's what it felt like. It felt very Bob froze. But it felt very just, okay, my hands are up, you got me. He's gonna do the 5 games. He may come back. If I'm Brooklyn right now, do I really want to bring him back in that locker room? Because I've got enough problems, because I'm going to go ahead and hire a guy who literally was suspended for the season for sexual misconduct as a head coach. So if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I've already got enough stuff going on. Why do I want to invite somebody who we have to question his commitment to not only the game, but to the team? So what do I get out of that? I really do not know what the Nets keep or what the Nets lose. Yeah. Are people going to be upset that Kyrie Irving is gone? Absolutely. But at the same time, sometimes you got to cut what.
This is a lose-lose, but you take the more, like, this is whatever. Like, this is a lose-lose, but guess what? You still have an opportunity to do the right thing. You still have an opportunity to make a lose-lose proposition and do the morally correct thing.
And if you've seen Kyrie's track record, you're probably in a good situation that you can move on, get whatever clean, ugly break. If you can just get that break, that's going to be another team's problem.
But also, just some things are just bigger than basketball. Like some things are just.
I think it's hilarious that in the midst of all this, the Nets hired Ime Udoka, and still no one knows exactly
is that
happened.
Official?
I was going to say
no, not official. It's going to happen though.
The longer this goes, the more I'm convinced it's not happening.
I made that point.
Yeah.
Oh, because you did?
Yeah, because you think about everything that's going on. Why are you hiring him?
This was also another opportunity for Kevin Durant to make a big statement.
Yeah, he didn't. He already said like that's
KD's so over
Kyrie.
everything.
Well, he said he wanted to keep it to basketball and everything else, and it should have never gotten to this point. And you're like, okay, well, he's gonna dodge. And yet, Andrew, you mentioned like if teams had sent out to players like, hey, don't comment on this, but like you saw I think it was Devin Booker who was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. They asked him, I think, this week where he's. And the idea that none of these players know what's going on.
Oh no, they know what's going on, but there's PR people and the sports information people that are like, please do not say anything. Whatever you say, whether it's good.
So sad that's where we're at.
So then here's what you do. This is why you have a union, even though this involves the vice president.
Well, the union.
You have the union. Get every dues-paying member to put their name on a collective statement to say this is effed up, and a real one, not a whole.
I was going to say the whole Instagram post that felt very. It's like. Was it
the one where they misspelled anti-Semitism? Was it that one?
I think that might have been it. Yeah, no, this feels very. This is a very no good, terrible, bad week for the NBA, and. There are a lot of.
By the way, the Spurs just had to kick a second-year player off the team because he allegedly exposed himself to multiple women.
I need to put whiskey in this. Chase in the moonshine. Let me put some.
Yeah, Chase. Where's that booze? Where's the good stuff?
It's in our refrigerator, I think. It's still.
Send it to Detroit.
You're keeping it in the refrigerator?
I think it still is. Is it not supposed to be in the refrigerator? Where is it? I don't know.
Yeah, you can put vodka or gin in a refrigerator, but you're not really supposed to. I don't know what you're supposed to do with moonshine. I think it's a cabinet thing.
Yeah,
is it?
I don't know.
It might be a room temperature thing, but
you Google that.
It's been in there for a while. If that's where it is, so
Jamie,
I don't know.
Jamie, what do you do with moonshine?
We've hit the commitment line with this moonshine. But no, I'm so over. Just everything with the NBA.
Chase, do you have a bottle of vodka that you keep in your fridge or freezer for when company comes over? If there's a reason where everyone wants a stronger drink, do you have that?
No.
Okay, go on. Mm-mm. You have wine though. You have a wine cabinet or wine area.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fair.
It's a pretty small house.
So where's Kyrie going to end up?
I don't think he plays basketball again.
I think he will retire and he will go into this whole 2 or 3 year thing of martyrdom.
He's going to be on Joe Rogan. The fact that Joe spoke about that publicly already, he's going to be on Rogan.
He's going to make the round.
Did Rogan say he's having Kyrie on?
No, he said he wants to have the what did he? I don't want to misquote him. What was his quote?
I don't know, but is Rogan going to go on there and basically just let Kyrie talk, or is Rogan going to go on there and basically say, "Dude, what the hell are you talking about? You aren't."
No, he's going to he'll let him talk.
He absolutely will. But I do know that Joe Rogan kind of does enjoy sure, I'll let you talk. Yeah, by the way, your points are really dumb.
Maybe it was Kanye. Maybe he was talking about Kanye. Hold on, it may have been Kanye.
Even worse. But no.
There are a couple bash YouTubers who I pay attention to, and they at least one who has
It is Kanye, by the way. He said Joe Rogan says the best way to deal with Kanye West is to have a conversation with him and correct all the things that he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's entire Joe is once again wrong. That is not the best. A conversation with him that is broadcast to 11 million people. That's the best way to do it.
For some reason, the Spring Hill Company is pretty much just like filing their fingernails and going, "Yeah, that's a bad idea, dude. Yeah, I wouldn't do it."
Don't do that, Joe. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It would get a lot of, it would do numbers, but no, you're wrong about it.
The tragic part is, like, I think he probably does in his heart of hearts feel like he can flip it and change some of that stuff, but it's like the problem that I think a lot of folks overlook is just the bad faith aspect of all of this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Once you realize that there's bad faith on that side, then you can't, there's no point.
There are ways there. Look, there are people who get hooked into not just conspiracy theories, but downright cults and all kinds of far right movements, and you can deprogram them. That happens. It's not like once you fall into a pit that you can't ever get out. You can. It takes a long time, and it takes an entire team of people. It's really, it's not, it's not something you can do on a podcast.
But okay, so this is my question.
It also just shouldn't be for content. Like the whole point of it.
Yeah. It's not for public consumption.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not edutainment, man. It's not like a lot of people are going to watch it and go, "Oh, well, if Kanye was wrong, maybe I'm wrong." That's
not. Nope.
And this is my question in terms of deprogramming him. The problem is there are a lot of people who have these thoughts and who have these opinions, and I don't know. Part of me is like, do you listen to what you were saying? Like, are you, I don't pay attention to the mainstream media, but you're going to pay attention to a YouTube video that is, giving you all of these different things, yet when the most basic thing, which is pretty much aligned with 1 + 1 is 2.
I mean, that's the question. The question I wanted one person to ask Kyrie during one of these presses is, Kyrie, how many people died during the Holocaust? Don't ask him if he's an anti-Semite. Don't ask him what's right and what's wrong. Just ask him that. How many people died? Because the podcast you put out says that it was a lie. So how many people died? It's a number. There's no right or there's a pretty specific right or wrong answer here. Just ask him that. That is the kind of question that gets you uninvited to any press conference for the rest of your life. But that's still the kind of the question that I would have asked.
But that takes balls, and I wish.
No, it gets you. Nice. Look, that's not the question that you would normally put on an NBA beat writer, and that's no insult to NBA beat writers. That's just not their beat.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. But at the same time,
that's the question.
You should ask that question. I do have a question for you guys though, in terms of, because I'm actually really enjoying this conversation. In terms of how we consume media, and in terms of media literacy, to me, this week has been a very valuable lesson on why we need media literacy all the time, because there's just so much information that people consume, and sadly there are some people who don't have the platform that Kyrie does, or don't have the platform that we do, and they are so, whether it's red pill, blue pill, black pill, kente cloth pill, whatever you want to call it, it's just, it feels like we are just so far off as a people. And, pardon my French, this shit is depressing, because it's the most basic, it's logic for fourth graders, essentially. And we struggle with it as a human race, and it is
because there is a very valuable market that has been created by turning information into entertainment. It's because we've ceded actual public works or things that should be a public work to capitalist entities. And now that the capitalist entities are failing, we're left with nothing. So educating people about basic facts is not seen as a public good. It's just another kind of commerce. And because that commerce is failing, it feels like education is failing. That's not what's failing. What's failing is that we ceded it over to commerce in the first place, and because commerce only knows how does a product market itself? Well, it often markets itself as a kind of entertainment, and because we are marketing news as entertainment, you see it as part of a drama cycle and not as a public good. And yeah, it's more fun to consume entertainment. It's more fun to be engaged in, to see yourself as an actor on the path in history. It's more fun to see your beliefs being waged on an ideological battlefront. And so you consume more of it when it's the kind of thing that's treated like dessert instead of your Brussels sprouts. But there's a reason people need to eat Brussels sprouts. So yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. We absolutely need to teach media literacy. But to me, the problem is more basic. It's that we are, as like the book went, we're entertaining ourselves to death here.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, not to argue for seizing control of the means of production and class struggle or anything, but until we figure out a way that letting people know about basic shared facts and acquiring a basic shared facts in the world is like return to some kind of primacy, this is going to keep happening.
And I'm concerned. I hate that I have a very cynical view on the future there.
You are for all things considered, you are a rosy-minded, optimistic lad.
I am. Just on that, I'm not. I think the ship has sailed on this, unfortunately.
Welcome to the club, buddy.
Right? Like
it sucks.
I don't see us going backwards in that regard. I don't see it.
We all believe that the Nets can win a title, but we can't see capitalism failing.
But you guys remember, this is all part of Kyrie's journey.
It is part of a journey.
Had to get that in there.
On that note, do we have any good recommendations for this week?
Love is Blind Season 3 is bonkers. The men on Love is Blind Season 3. My wife loves recording me as I'm talking out loud to the TV.
Is Love is Blind a show where people are blindfolded and they make out and stuff?
No, Love is Blind is where you meet in these pods and you don't see each other before you propose. So
that's ridiculous.
How long are they in these pods from like start to finish?
I think it's 2 weeks.
Oh my God, and you have to propose?
Yeah, well, you pick, so it's like people go in and out. So you're doing a bunch of like little dates.
Is it essentially blind dating?
Yes, blind speed dating, like blind speed dating. And then the ones you find out that like you kind of figure out who you connect with more. Then you like settle on one or two. And then you spend a bunch of time just with those one or two for the couple days. And then it ends up getting a proposal. And then you go to the honeymoon suite in Malibu. And then you go to home and meet the family. And you do a little bit of... It's incredible television.
No, I'm not.
Now, The Ultimatum, which is its spinoff, is by far my favorite. That's the number one. The Ultimatum is the most chaotic, toxic television show ever created, where one of the spouses, The Ultimatum is literally one of these spouses puts you and that spouse, without the spouse knowing, on a game show because you said you want to make them, you're giving them an ultimatum that if they don't propose to you in a certain amount of time, the whole relationship's off. So they have to get engaged or married or they break up at the end of the show. It's insanity. That whole season was bonkers, where you basically are screwing over your partner right away, where you're like, this person doesn't want to do it and I've done everything. This is their up, and it's incredible. But no, Love is Blind Season 3, chaotic, an absolute delight though. An absolute delight. It's a great way to get away from the world.
Sure. Okay.
Barbarian, it's great.
I've watched the first 5 minutes over the last 3 nights while going to bed.
Do it, Bob.
I keep falling asleep though.
You need to do
I'm
it.
I'm still in the Airbnb with that guy, Lucas. With Justin Long.
Oh, you're really early on.
What
okay.
I've watched 5 minutes over the last 3 nights. I start watching it in bed and I fall asleep. And I wake up in the morning and the video is done. And I have to rewind
HBO
it.
Max. Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
And it's called what?
Barbarians.
Barbarian.
Is it basically like the...
It's not a Conan thing.
No. Is it basically like the HBO Max version of Vikings?
No. It's like
the modern age.
It's like a new version of it.
You can't. I've been told that you shouldn't read anything about it.
No, Yes, no. I don't even want to spoil anything.
Free.
But it is worth your time. It's one of the best movies I've seen all year. It's incredible.
That's what people say. It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Highly
else is
encourage
in
it.
it?
You know what's terrible though? Halloween Ends. We watched that.
Yeah, it
Yeah, don't
sucks.
watch those.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it's so bad. Halloween
Yeah,
Ends
how many
is
Halloweenses have there been now?
too many.
At some point,
It's
we
so
have
bad.
to question the Halloween universe that Michael Myers is always going out and killing people. Maybe we need to question the infrastructure. We've been questioning society and where we're at. We need to question how this man has been killing.
Or this town. The FBI never comes in. It's just the one town. They've lost like 2/3 of their population.
Haddonfield, like, every year Halloween rolls around and they're all like, well, he can't go and kill us all again.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, well, you know what? We're just gonna keep wiretapping the black militants. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what is Mike gonna do
in a Halloween movie? I believe Buster Rhymes was in one of them.
Yeah, he was. He was in.
There was Halloween something.
It was
Halloween.
like mid-2000s because it was him and Tyra Banks were both in it, and they both end up getting killed, and it's just like
not to throw my wife under the bus, but we walked out of X, and Kid Cudi was in X. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Oh,
X is great.
X is actually really good.
Yeah, X is awesome, and Pearl, the follow-up, still good. But X was in Kid Cudi, and I was like, "Yeah, Kid Cudi was really good," and she was like, "That was Kid Cudi," and I was like, "Who did you think?" The whole time,
he's actually a really, really good actor. I like the X universe that they're building, and it's a really good it restored the feeling of slasher movie.
Isn't X the one? Is that an A24?
A23, yeah.
A24. Or A24.
Or 24, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the
70s, and they're making an adult film, and murdering ensues.
You would like X. It's good. X is good.
If there's some tasteful nudity and some mild violence,
I mean, it's it's supposed to be a 70s porn set, dude. Yeah.
Nice.
It's like, what is that Richard Linklater movie? Everybody Wants Some. Was
that movie's great.
It is a great
movie.
Yeah. Richard Linklater, awesome. He has the best trilogy of all time too. People forget that. Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, After Midnight. Yeah. It's a great series.
On that note.
That's the one thing I need to watch this weekend. By the way, don't let me forget the new Colin Farrell black comedy.
The Martin McDonagh.
Yes. I need to watch that this weekend.
Is that the one with Brendan Gleeson?
Yes, the same two from one of my favorites, In Bruges.
You gotta watch sour-faced Irish people.
Yes, they're so good.
I'm gonna be watching Notre Dame Clemson this weekend. Absolutely.
No, you're not. You're watching Tennessee Georgia, and you're just all eyes are on.
It's on prime time, dude.
Yeah, you can rewatch it. Just start it all over when Tennessee beats the Dogs all over again. You don't want to watch a team that loses to Marshall and Stanford at home. You can move on.
Man's out here acting like, it's 1998 all over again, and
it is like 1998. Many people are saying 2019 LSU. Many people are saying Hendon Hooker, Heisman. Many people are saying college football playoff. Andrew Hammond, do you have a pick of the week?
Georgia puts y'all through a table, I'm just sending you a text message with the selfie going, hey,
I may have to watch it. I may have to watch this game.
Game of the century, Bob. You got to watch it 3:30
so I can
CBS.
watch. So I can. I'm sorry. I'm babysitting my niece and nephew. Then sorry.
Nieces and nephews love the Dogs, and they love the Vols.
They don't.
They love college
football. No. I have tried. My nephew is 9. I have tried so hard to get him to like sports.
Oh, is he not a sports guy?
He's not a sports fan. He doesn't like it. I bought him a glove when he was 5 to get it. He does not. He's not into the watching of team sports.
What did he do with the glove?
It's in his closet somewhere.
Oh.
What's he into? Is he Call of Duty? Or?
He Super Mario Brothers. He will play Super Mario Brothers all day.
What are his thoughts on Chris Pratt being Super Mario?
That I don't think
he has strong opinions on the playground.
He's definitely a future gamer. He is absolutely that. Okay. He also, and so when I come over, he tries to teach me how to play Super Mario Brothers. But him teaching me just involves me watching him play and then watching him watch YouTubes, watching other people play.
That is the new thing. Kids love watching other people play video games.
I've never understood that.
But it's cheaper for the parents, right?
He's not allowed to watch
amazing.
Twitch streams yet, thank God. But
we don't need him on Twitch.
No, we do. I do watch my 9-year-old nephew watch other people play Super Mario Brothers, which is not a sport. That's not a sport. I've tried.
You mean you
I am
don't
not
like
gonna.
speed runs,
I'm not
Bob?
even gonna. I'm not even gonna damn him by trying to turn him into some kind of blasted Knicks or
You don't
Jets
like
fan.
speed runs? Speed runs are the best, Bob.
He also likes he liked the Pikachu and all that, and he tries to he has a whole stack of cards, and he tries to introduce me to all the various things that he's trying to catch, and I'm totally baffled by it. Showing my age the whole time.
Pokemon just keeps going, man. I'm just surprised it's never died out.
He has Pokemon cards.
Going.
He can explain what each character does in detail, how one Pokemon births another Pokemon. He knows all their ridiculous names backwards and forwards, and it's like he's speaking Sanskrit to me.
Well, it's time to make money.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gaming and Pokemon are certainly far more valuable than spending countless hours watching bad New York sports teams, so I applaud him for that.
There you go. A happier life.
Yeah.
A happier life. Andrew, pick of the week. Yeah, what do you got for us?
Oh God. Just go to your local library, read a book. Actually, I'm gonna read so I bought it and I was like, oh, I'm gonna, carve out some time this weekend. No. So I'm gonna at least I'm gonna try and knock out a few chapters in the Jeff Pearlman book about Bo Jackson, because Bo Jackson is one of one truly, and I feel like we really do not we don't know the legend of Bo Jackson.
Yeah,
so,
there's stories.
Yeah, we need, and he does a great job of telling a complete story about people without actually talking to the person.
It was a right around, wasn't it? He just talked to everybody who knew Bo.
Yeah, he did.
I don't think he got much with Bo. I think he only got what? Didn't he say only like 10 minutes or something? I feel like I listened to an interview. He only got a little bit of time.
Yeah, and so like with the Lakers book about Kobe and Shaq, he basically said that Kobe didn't return anything. Oh yeah, not a surprise, but at the same time, he talked to enough people.
Yeah.
About, and so
Brady and Manning didn't talk to Gary Myers. I have that book.
You can Frank Sinatra Has a Cold, an entire book. You can do an entire book without talking to the subject.
Andrew Hammond, Bob Silverman, always a pleasure. You guys have yourself a great weekend, and I will talk to y'all next week.